Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, week one officially wrapped up, and it's gotta be confirmed that after the Monday night game, that is one of the weirdest week ones I've ever witnessed. Teams that were supposed to win didn't, teams that were supposed to win tied, and then teams that, essentially we thought were a lot better just ended up leaving us with a lot of question marks all over the place. So look, we got week two starting this week. We got very good matchups all over the board. I'm excited to get these picks in. Look, my overall record so far is 8-7-1. I know I am just as disgusted as you are looking at that number, but look, I'm only trying to go up from here. So I'm going to keep track of these, keep track of my picks, keep track of my record so you guys can follow along throughout the season. But I promise you, by the end of this thing, I'm going to have a very positive record. All right, but without further ado, let's get to these picks. All right, so to start out our week two matchup, look, we got the Chiefs and Chargers. Now, I am praying that this is a much better Thursday night matchup than last week's Bills and Rams was, because as we knew what the Bills were going to do, what the Bills did, but the Rams did not show up to that game at all. I'm praying that this is a much better Thursday night matchup. I think it definitely will be. This is a divisional game. The Chiefs and Chargers is always one to get your popcorn ready for. And look, here's where I'm at with this game. The Chiefs absolutely came out on fire last week. I mean, Mahomes looked more motivated than ever. I mean, he looked rejuvenated, re-energized, and like I kept telling you guys, he is not going to miss Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is going to miss him much more, and we all knew that was a fact, so I'm going to leave it at that. But look, the Chiefs looked absolutely incredible last week, and look, as far as the defense goes, it's week one. So I'm going to necessarily say that Kyler Murray just stunk it up bad enough for the Chiefs defense to look like the Legion of Boom, because I don't know what the heck was going on last week. The Cardinals were so slow. The Cardinals were just looking absolutely lost. They just didn't know what was going on out there, and the Chiefs absolutely spanked them up and down the field for the entirety of the game. I mean, I was actually shocked that was the result of that game. Like, Patrick Mahomes looked ready to win another MVP trophy. That man looks ready to go into Arrowhead on Thursday and beat the Chargers. Now, granted, the Chargers are a great team. They are more than likely going to be missing Keenan Allen. I don't think they're going to rush J.C. Jackson back for this game, just due to the fact that it is a short week and the fact that it's only week two. They don't really need to rush him for this. They really need to save J.C. Jackson, because that's a very big talent on defense. They need to save him for the weeks ahead. Granted, this is the Chiefs. I know they want to win this game, but look, as far as what I saw last week and what I'm going off of, as Herbert is my MVP pick, of course, but I just can't, I don't see how I can't pick the Chiefs here. Now, look, I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. This is going to be a divisional game. This is going to be a very close game, tight-knit game. Like, the Chiefs and Chargers are going to go at it this year. But I just don't see a way off of a short week. The way the Chiefs were playing last week, I don't see them losing this game. I think it's going to be a very close game. Now, granted, I don't think that, Herbert isn't going to do what Kyler Murray did. Herbert's going to play much better than he did. I just think without Keenan Allen and without J.C. Jackson on that side of the ball, I just don't think they have the Chiefs. The Chargers just don't have their playmakers, essentially. I mean, they have Mike Williams, Austin Eckler still, but I don't know. Keenan Allen, that's a big loss, in my opinion, man. That's a big loss on that offense. They do have other guys that can step up, but they're not Keenan Allen. And look, at the end of the day, as good as your offense is, as good as your offense is that you've seen, when playing the Chiefs, you just got to make sure your defense can get stops. And while that defense can get stops that they need, I don't know, man. I just think the Chiefs edge this one out. So I got the Chiefs winning it 27, Chargers 24. All right, so this next game is probably going to be one of the most lowest scoring affairs this week. We got the Patriots and the Steelers. Look, the Steelers' offense looked absolutely horrendous. Mitchell Trubisky is not their guy, but we've seen Mike Tomlin do worse with Duck Hodges, or he's done better with Duck Hodges. So, I mean, as long as Trubisky is there, he'll just be a placeholder. They can win the games because Mike Tomlin's just that good of a coach. And honestly, I just don't think the Patriots really want to win, because they have a defensive coordinator and a special teams coordinator trying to conduct an offense, which clearly is not working. The Patriots are just absolutely lost in the terms of offensive, football. They don't know how to make anything go. That offense looked as dry as ever. It looked as slum as ever. And I really just don't really see it improving, especially against the Steelers D. Now, granted, they don't have T.J. Watt, but honestly, the way Minka Fitzpatrick played and the way the Patriots offense is set up in the first place, I don't really think they need T.J. Watt to win this game. I just think they need to make enough stops on that defensive end to just, get the win, and I think they'll do so. Like, the Patriots are talented on defense as well in some areas, but like I said, they're just not going to be able to do enough to score any points in this game. This is going to be a pretty low-scoring affair. I mean, I have the Patriots scoring more than they did last week, but it really ain't saying much, man. I got the Steelers winning this one 20, it's the Patriots 10. All right, so I got to give credit where credit is due. And look, the Giants deserve a lot of credit for the win that they pulled out last week against the Titans. Granted, the Titans probably aren't going to be that good. I still think that. But look, I didn't expect the Giants to win. And the Giants, they showed a lot of heart. Brian Dabble got them boys over there trying to build different energy, trying to have different aura with Giants football. And I can see it shining brightly, man. And I really think the fact that they have a home game this week, they're 1-0 after since like 20. The Giants are 1-0 since like 2013. They have a home game this week against the Panthers. And look, as far as I'm concerned, Saquon Barkley is back. Christian McCaffrey can be back too if, Baker Mayfield didn't decide he was Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes and wanted to air it out so much. Or, if the Panthers coaching staff didn't think that was who Baker Mayfield was. But look, essentially, I think the Giants are going to win this game. I just think, the fact that they're 1-0, the fact that they're at home, that stadium is just going to be different. I know Giants fans. They're very delusional. And those fans are going to be loud in that stadium. And I just don't think the Panthers are going to be able to handle it. Granted, I'm not saying like it's not going to be close. Like the Panthers can definitely win this game. They have Christian McCaffrey on that side. It's just you got to get him involved. You got to get him involved in the game this week if you want to have any chances of winning. I just think on the other side, it just looks to me like the Giants know who they're going to use, who they're going to go through, and that's Saquon Barkley. They do need to use a little bit more of Kadarius Toney, in my opinion, but maybe that's a disciplinary thing. I don't know. We'll see it, but I know the Panthers almost came back last week. I just, I don't know. I saw something from the Giants that I did not expect, and that was just a lot of heart and grit. And if that's what they're playing with this year, then they damn sure can beat the Panthers on Sunday. So I got the Giants winning this one 24, Panthers 21. All right, so next up we got the Jets and the Browns. Look, I got to give the Browns credit for pulling out that win last week, even though the offense really was just running through Chubb and Hunt the entire time. Like I said, the rest of that offense looks very slum because Jacoby Brissett, Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, that just ain't doing it for a lot of people. Now, granted, they're playing the Jets this week, and I don't really want to think the Jets are as bad as people are saying they are. Granted, our defense just played lights out last week, and Joe Flacco, it's Joe Flacco. He's a decent quarterback, but he's not going to do anything absolutely spectacular back there. And honestly, the Jets defense really ain't that bad. There's a lot of promise there. The Jets defense is better than the offense by light years, in my opinion. That's due to the fact that Robert Saleh is more a defensive guy anyway, but so he knows how to play the defensive side of the ball. Look, this game is pretty much going to be maybe a blowout, in my opinion. I don't think, as long as Joe Flacco's back there having average quarterback play, and as long as, the Browns are able to create pressure, the Jets aren't just really going to be able to do much on the offensive side of the ball. Granted, like I said, their defense isn't that bad, but I don't think they'll be able to stop Chubb and Hunt. Like I said, they're playing to their strength. The Browns are just playing to their strengths here. They know that Chubb and Hunt are their go-to guys. They need to play through them, and they're going to do so. So I think the Browns win this one pretty easily, 31-20. All right, so next up we got the Jags and the Colts. Look, last week when I picked the Colts to win, I did not know that they have not won a season opener in like 8 years, but they were playing the Texans, man. The Texans weren't even playing to win. They played to tie. So I thought they were going to be able to pull it out, but I guess not. But look, the Jaguars suck. The Jaguars stink here. There's a lot of question marks all over the field. Now, essentially, they're really just trying to get their offense together. That's really what it seemed like last week playing against the Commanders. It really just seemed like the Jaguars were trying to figure out what they actually have on offense. Granted, Travis Etienne dropped some easy ones and, left a lot of opportunities out there on the field. They could have won that game, but, I guess they just got to figure it out as they go along. But look, the Colts need a restart. They need to be able to come out here and attack from the jump. I think they will do that because, like I said, the Jaguars are just not that impressive on the defensive side of the ball. And Jonathan Taylor ran for 161 yards last week. You're not going to stop that guy. Matt Ryan, Michael Pittman, no, there's chemistry there. They're building it. The Colts just need to come out here and stop playing around and just get this dub. I think they do so, and I think they win in a pretty easy state. 34-21. Now look, this is a game I've kind of been dreading because, we had an absolutely abysmal performance against them last year, but this is also a chance for get back. We got the Ravens and Dolphins lining up against each other on Sunday. And look, if you saw the game last year, the abysmal performance that I'm referring to is the one where the Dolphins just ran cover zero and we acted like there was not a thing we could do to adjust. We act like there was just nothing that could possibly be done to win that game, and we just gave it all away. Sammy Watkins stopped early on a dime touchdown, and there was just a lot of craziness going on that day. That was one of the worst Ravens performances I've ever seen in my life. And like I said, for Ravens games, I got to give my fan perspective and then my unbiased opinion as well, because, from a fan perspective, I'm always going to want the Ravens to win. I'm always going to tell the Ravens to win. So let me get my fan side of this argument first. we need to go in there and kick their ass. It's as simple as that. We need to remember what that performance was last year, and I need to address this. We are not going to win this game running the ball. Our run game is atrocious as far as I'm concerned, man. Mike Davis, Kenyon Drake, they can't go anywhere. They're not playmakers, man. And our O-line isn't good enough right now to really open up holes for those guys to just go. Like JK and Gus, they can make work for themselves. That's why I'm waiting on those guys to come back, and they will open up our run game a lot more. But our run game right now is not, where it needs to be. And essentially the passing game needs to be what opens up the run game. So we need to win this game through the air, and Lamar has to come out here and just, like I said, be Lamarvelous. He has to be himself. He has to win the game through the air. He has to throw the ball. This is the game to prove to people, he's proved it plenty of times, so I'm not even worried about that. But this is the game to just prove that you're going to win this game through the air, and you can do that and just shut all the critics up, which will never probably happen, but it needs to at some point, and I just need the Ravens to win. From my unbiased standpoint, I still think we win. Look, like I said, we had a very abysmal performance last year. This is a home game for the Ravens. We are on get back all year. This is a best chance for revenge. Tua's not that good, guys. Tua is really not that good. He really didn't do anything special last week. All he did was Jalen Waddle got open. That was great. Other than that, man, that offense is not looking that electrifying, like I said, and it's due to the fact that Tua is the quarterback. As long as he's the quarterback, this offense's growth will be stunted the entire season. So as far as I'm concerned, the Ravens need to go in there and absolutely destroy Tua, destroy his confidence. We need to do what they did last year to Lamar and just make him look like he's not even a quarterback. We need to just absolutely destroy the Dolphins as far as I'm concerned. Now, granted, it'll be a very close game because that's just what the Ravens do. The Ravens, I would love to see a blowout, but there's just a lot of talent on that offensive side. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. We did lose Kyle Fuller, but essentially, I'm hoping Marcus Peters is ready for Sunday. I don't know who's going to be, what that matchup's going to look like, but I just know that our defense is ready. We need to get pressure, and I think the Ravens pulled this one out 24-20. All right, so next up, we got the Commanders and the Lions. Look, I do have to address them as the Commanders this week because they won, and unfortunately, I do think they're going to win again this week. Look, Carson Wentz showed some flash last week. He definitely showed that he can, close out a game against bad teams. Detroit Lions aren't really a good team, so I think that the Commanders can go in here and win. Granted, the Lions are favored for the first time in a while. Like they've been the underdogs in like all their games. They haven't been the favorite in years. So that is a strange trend to look at. Vegas might be onto something there. I may change my pick just because, actually, I'm doing it on live air. I'm going to change my pick. I think the Commanders lose. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I was going to pick the Commanders to win. I'm not doing it. I don't think I can. I was listening to my friends because they think the Commanders are going to go 2-0 for some reason, beat the Eagles next week. No, I'm going to let that delusion sit. I think the Giants go 2-0. I think the Skins go 1-1. It's as simple as this. I think the Lions are going to go in there. They're playing at home this week. They're favored for a reason. I think Vegas knows something this week. I'm just going to put it as simple as that. I think because they are favored, they haven't been favored in years. I think Vegas knows something that we don't. So for those reasons and those reasons only, I'm going to pick the Lions to win this thing 27-24. All right, so next up, we got the Bucs versus the Saints. Look, both of these teams need to redeem themselves as far as the Bucs on the offensive side of the board because they left a lot of points on that field against the Cowboys. They should have put up at least 50. And then the Saints defense, they just need to perform a lot better because they let the Falcons put up 26. But look, here's the thing. So, of course, the Saints have beaten the Bucs and, have upset Tom Brady since he's been there. And now we go into this week, and personally, I think the Bucs are going to pull this one out. Look, every time we mention the Bucs, well, as of recent, since Tom Brady joined the team, that's all we can ever think about when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But what we forget about, or essentially, I guess what I forget about most, is their defense. Their defense is absolutely phenomenal. Antoine Whitfield, Devin White, and fucking Shaquille Barrett, man. Those guys are all studs. Those guys are incredible. They played their asses off against the Cowboys last week, and I just personally think, I'm not going to say anybody else doesn't give them credit. I don't give them enough credit for how talented that defensive side of the ball is, and personally, I think that's what's going to be the difference maker here because I think the Bucs offensively can handle what the Saints throw at them. The Saints defense does have to play better this week, but look, Brady's tired of losing to the Saints, so I really think he's fed up this week and he's ready to get that dub. So I think the Bucs pull this one out 30-26. All right, now for our 4 o'clock games, look, I'm going to call this the Redeemed Team slate. Well, I mean the Redeemed Teams slate because there's a lot of teams that need to step it up this week, and that's including this first matchup. We got the 49ers versus the Seahawks. Look, the Seahawks had their Super Bowl. They beat Russell Wilson. They did exactly what they wanted to do this season. They wanted to just make sure that they could say, yeah, we beat Russ and you're going to miss us. But he's not really going to miss them by the end of the season because the Seahawks are going to suck. And look, Trey Lance's job is on the line as far as I'm concerned because while he did play in absolutely shit weather last week, he didn't really do much to, try to win them the game anyway. Like, he played absolutely horrible. And granted, if you would have asked me to go out there and throw in that weather, I wouldn't be able to do it either. I'd probably have like 5 interceptions and would have been pulled after the first quarter. But look, you're paid millions to play in that kind of weather, bud. And honestly, at this point, the way you played isn't really looking good for you. Jimmy G is right on your ass at this point. So look, Trey Lance got a lot to prove this week, and like I said, the Seahawks already won their Super Bowl. If the Seahawks decide to keep coming out this year and want to try to win games, that's going to be very pointless for them in their future because there's no point in doing that. You got your win, you did your thing. I am necessarily telling you don't try to win this game, the Seahawks, but at the same time, I don't think you're going to win this game. I think the Seahawks definitely lose it. I think the 49ers pulled this out 27-20. Now, the next team that needs to step it up on this 4 o'clock slate is the Los Angeles Rams. Their opponents, the Atlanta Falcons. Look, as far as I'm concerned, the Atlanta Falcons already cemented their fate this season. They're going to be the number 1 pick because they're just absolutely horrendous. There's no reason why the Falcons lose in such horrendous ways, man. But they do. It's a tradition at this point, and by all means, they've already cemented their season. They already know where they're headed. They're just going to suck all year. They're going to be absolutely terrible. So this is the time for Sean McVay and the Rams to wake up and actually turn into the team that you're supposed to turn into. And honestly, what that means, don't always just throw it to Cooper Kupp. Throw it to the black guys too, because look, your offense is very predictable. It's going to be, look, everybody knows they're not going to be able to stop Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's going to eat up whatever team he lines up against. He's just a mismatch. He just likes that. He's that guy. But granted, everybody knows that on the other side of the ball too. So you got to get other people involved. Look, Cam Akers sucked. And he doesn't need to be out there on the field until he can at least block for the quarterback at this point, because running the ball isn't even the least of his worries. He needs to learn how to block because he's just absolutely not doing his job at all. But they don't need Cam Akers as well. They don't need him to win this game. Look, the Falcons are trash. I think the Rams have a bounce back game. And I mean, that's not saying much because they're playing the Falcons, who I think is just going to be the worst team in the league this year. But either way, they need to blow these guys out. Allen Robinson needs to get more involved. Sean McVay needs to take this game in order to try things and get other people involved and see what the offense can really look like, instead of just a Cooper Kupp-led offense, or as Twitter would want to say, a white man's offense. That's what this is. That's what you decided to play last week, white man's offense, and he didn't get you anywhere. So let's try again this week and play some Rams football. I got the Rams winning this one 37-14. All right, so as far as the Cardinals and Raiders go, look, the Cardinals need to redeem themselves more than the Raiders do, because the Raiders, they played the Chargers. They just got ate up by a good defense. They did the best of their performance. Devontae Adams and Derek Carr were doing their thing all last week. Now, the reason the Cardinals need to redeem themselves is because they played like absolute garbage. Granted, I don't know if this is if this is how the Cardinals are going to play all year. All right, then maybe that's just who they are. They did play the Chiefs. And I expected the Chiefs to have an offensive explosion last week, because it's the Chiefs. They are very creative. It's hard to stop that offense. It's hard to stop Mahomes and things like that. What I did not expect is for Kyler Murray to absolutely shit the bed and, like I said, let the Chiefs defense look like the Legion of Boom, or the reemergence of the Legion of Boom. Because what the hell? Granted, the Chiefs defense is not as bad as it was last year. There are new faces, Trent McDuffie. There are newcomers on that defense as well. And Andy Reid is good enough to have that defense to where they can get the job done or get guys off the field. And so I guess this week I'm gonna figure out this week we're gonna really find out if it really was the Chiefs defense that is just that good, or if Kyler Murray just stunk that bad. And granted, I think Kyler Murray just stunk that bad because the Chiefs defense plays Justin Herbert this week. So I think the Cardinals lose this game either way, because honestly the defense just looked absolutely horrendous. Like the defense doesn't look like they can stop anybody. And granted, you're going against Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfrow. Granted, you are going against a lesser talented quarterback in Derek Carr, but with those weapons, it doesn't matter. There's nobody on that field, there's nobody on that defensive end side of the ball that can stop Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, nor Hunter Renfrow. And as long as Derek Carr, gets everybody involved, I appreciate you trying to get the black man his touches, but we got to get Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow theirs as well, so you guys can spread out the ball a little bit more, so your offense doesn't look too predictable. Granted, there's no run game there at all because Josh Jacobs is ass, but I think the Raiders pull this one out, man. The Raiders are at home. It's a Vegas atmosphere. Vegas atmospheres are different, and I just think the Cardinals are going to fold under that pressure. So I think the Raiders pull this one out 35, Cardinals 34. All right, Broncos County. let's try this again because clearly you couldn't ride the first time. So this week you got the Broncos playing the Texans. Now, as I said before, the Texans on Sunday literally told you what their plan is all season. They are not playing to win. They literally played to tie. They don't want to win. They want that number one pick. They're probably not going to get it because the Falcons are definitely going to compete for it. But the Texans don't want to win football games this year. They've already proven that on Sunday. They just want to tie. So the Broncos need to go out there and just kick their ass. Russell Wilson, for you to ask for this trade and say that you wanted to be unleashed or whatever, and then you let your rookie head coach just make an absolutely dunderheaded decision. I mean, you could have called the timeout. Somebody could have called the timeout before the coach did. Like, to let that coach making that stupid mistake, just letting 30 seconds run off the clock like that, I don't know. And for some reason, he thought his kicker's last name was Tucker instead of McManus. I don't know what the hell was going on with him, but all that needs to be fixed on Sunday. You're playing the Texans. Look, I don't even need to be long on this. You need to go in there and just whoop their ass. It's as simple as that. The Texans are not playing to win. They literally proved that on Sunday. They went for a tie. They are playing to lose. So you need to just go in there and make sure that you play their game. Make them lose. Score's going to be 30-17. I'm keeping it as simple as that. Russ, if you fuck this up, man, people are going to be on your ass, man. You better watch out. All right, so next up, we got the Bengals and the Cowboys. Look, I don't know if somebody slipped something in Joe Burrow's Gatorade last week, but that boy was drunk. He was playing absolutely crazy. Well, up until the point where TJ Watt came out. Then he got a little bit more under control, but all those turnovers were abysmal. I don't think he's going to do that this week. One, because Dallas sucks. Granted, Dallas needs to redeem themselves, but I don't know how much redeeming they can do. One, because Dak's out. And two, even if Dak was playing, I'm not sure how much redeeming they would have did for themselves because I don't know what that performance was last week. The Cowboys honestly shocked me because you would have thought that the Cowboys gave the Bucs their offensive playbook a week ahead and just let the Bucs read everything that the Cowboys were going to run because they knew everything that they were going to do. The Cowboys looked absolutely horrendous. That was awful excuse for football. They're a piss poor excuse for a football team as far as I'm concerned. Like, the Cowboys are going to get stomped on this week. Joe Burrow, look, they don't have T. Higgins, but Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase are enough to get that job done. They're going to kill the Cowboys. The Cowboys are just going to have a rough week this week. Let's wait. Now, Dak isn't supposed to be out as long as we originally thought, so Cooper Rush, just get ready to hold the fort down until he gets back, but it ain't looking good for you guys, man. That was a piss poor excuse for a football team. That was a piss poor excuse for an effort to do anything last week. I felt really bad for those fans. Granted, like I said, Joe Burrow's just not really going to play like that again. Like, I know he's going to get all that under control. He has his guy, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is spectacular. Joe Mixon, great. T. Higgins may be out this week, but like I said, they don't need them. The Cowboys just stink. Micah Parsons is a stud and absolutely incredible. I hope CD plays better, but as far as the rest of that team goes, man, they just need to chalk it up and wait till next year because it ain't happening. Whatever's going on ain't happening. The Bengals are kicking their ass 34-17. All right, then we got our Sunday night matchup. We got the Bears and the Packers where we find out the question, does Aaron Rodgers still own the Bears? I'm pretty curious to find out the answer to that question myself. Look, the Packers had the same situation last year where they came out, they had a terrible start, and then, they picked it up and Aaron Rodgers had to show you who Aaron Rodgers was. The only difference this year is Devontae Adams ain't there. Now, will the Packers play as bad as they did last week? Absolutely not. Matt LaFleur is too much of a genius. Aaron Rodgers too great of a guy or too great of a quarterback to be having shit like that, fly. But I do think adjustments need to be made. One, they need to go through Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Those are your stars because until one of these receivers decide that they have hands or that they have confidence enough to catch these balls, you got to go with what you have. And Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are it. Granted, the Bears played in shit weather last week too, but that was their Super Bowl. The Bears are 1-0. The Bears won in crazy rain. They got their win. I need Aaron Rodgers to come out here more motivated than ever and show these people how great of a quarterback he is and just absolutely dominate. I need him to do that. I also think he's going to do that just because, I don't think the Bears are that good. I just think, it was literally the weather. I really think if it was a sunny day in Chicago that day, the Bears probably would have lost. But, it is what it is. They got that win. Congratulations to Justin Fields. It was a very cool moment for them. But this week, you're playing against Aaron Rodgers, a guy who does own you. And as far as I'm concerned, he still does own you and will continue to own you until he retires. So I got the Packers winning this one 28-24. All right, for the first part of our Monday night doubleheader, this is very easy. You got the Bills and Titans. The Bills are going to blow their asses out. The Titans suck. They're only going to go through Derrick Henry. They can't even do that much because they don't want his workload to go crazy. At least that's what the perception that I got was that I got from Sunday's game. That's what I got from that. Just the fact that they don't want to use him too much. They don't want to overwork Derrick Henry. Granted, the Bills are absolutely on fire. Just terrific. Stephon Diggs is killing the way Stephon Diggs killed Jalen Ramsey, as far as I'm concerned, not a soul on that Titans defense can contain Ramsey Diggs, Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, anybody. Josh Allen is just too amazing. The Bills are too high-powered, and the Titans suck. So this is very simple for me. I got the Bills whooping that ass 40-16. Now, to end our Monday night doubleheader, we have a game that could be a preview at the NFC Championship. We got the Vikings versus the Eagles. Look, I am very excited for this matchup because you have one of the two best teams in the NFC, in my opinion, going against each other. Like I said, this could be a preview for the NFC Championship. The Eagles lived up to everything they were supposed to last week. Granted, they did let the Lions back into the game, but the Lions have been, getting blown out and coming back in the game since like 2005. So that's just what the Lions do. Granted, this week, I think, the Vikings are for real. I think last week the Vikings showed that they are absolutely, on a mission to, win the Super Bowl this year. They're on a mission to make a Super Bowl run. Justin Jefferson, Offensive Player of the Year. Like I've already said that, and I'm going to keep saying it every week because this dude is just, the way this kid gets open. I'm not sure if this is just drawn up for him or if he's just getting open himself, finding the ways through the zones and just getting open like that. But the way this kid creates space is unreal. Like it's magnificent. He's going to be eating up yards all year. Dalvin Cook is still going to have his touch, is going to be able to eat through this offense. Like I said, this is going to be a very star-studded game. High-powered offenses going back and forth. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I just think the Vikings are built right now. The Vikings right now in week 2 are just built to, pull this one out, get those stops that they need to. And I think they're going to eventually end up winning 36-33. But don't be surprised if, the Eagles pull this one out of their ass. Granted, I got to pick the Vikings because, the Eagles are at home. No, I'm still going to pick the Vikings. I'm still going to pick the Vikings because I just think they're the better football team. I think the Eagles will learn from this, and maybe, who knows, maybe they might beat them later on down the road. But as far as I know right now, Justin Jefferson is him. The Vikings are going to be on fire, and Kevin O'Connell has got these boys playing some good football. So like I said, that's my score prediction, guys. 36-33 Vikings. What are your predictions for week 2? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to have the best performances, guys? Let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.